Joemat-Pettersson. Minister, good morning.
Good morning, Vuyo, and good morning to your viewers.
You look very pleased with the insert. Are you very pleased
Yes,
with it?
absolutely. 3 years ago, we identified a shortage of skills, a shortage of access to finance, as well as a shortage of access to markets as the key priorities for us as a department and as a key for our intervention strategies to make sure that smallholder farmers who are predominantly black become commercial farmers. And I think what we saw there is access to skills. We have given them implements, seeds, fertilizers, but there's still vandalism. So we need to curb vandalism, but the skills are there, the markets are there, and that's a recipe for success.
Vandalism from where?
The communities, once we get the buy-in from communities, we need them to understand that high food prices pose as the greatest threat to our democracy. We have to feed 49 million people every day, and we want 49 million people to have at least one nutritious meal every day. Now, if communities do not support agricultural products and they vandalize those products, we then have to keep on paying for the very same thing. And instead of feeding 49 million people, we now have only 14% of our people in rural areas being food secure, and only 24% of our people in urban areas being totally food secure. 10% or up 10 million people in our country face the brunt of food insecurity. Now, high food prices can only be mitigated by communities feeding themselves, by community or family vegetable gardens, and ensuring that we produce food ourselves.
Sustainability becomes a problem, though.
Absolutely. We cannot be using water which is meant for human consumption to plant vegetables and fruit. So we are pushing up the cost of water. Inadvertently, we are creating new challenges. So our approach is to, in fact, we are negotiating with cooperative governance and with municipalities to see how we can differentiate between food for human consumption and food for agriculture. However, there are still communities who do not have water which is fit for human consumption and who drink the same water as animals. So our agriculture has become an entire package with rural development for human development. And it is only through agriculture that we can address the absolute lowest level of poverty.
Are people willing to farm, though, Minister?
Yes.
Is there interest there? And do you find there's interest, particularly among young people?
I don't think we can believe what an interest we have generated in agriculture and farming over the past 3 years. We cannot keep up with the number of people who are suddenly interested in agriculture. However, we still need to stimulate the perception amongst young people that agriculture is a business. For now, they think agriculture is a slog, that it's slave labor, and that you can't make money out of it. Once they realize that there's money to be made, it's a business, but also they could study in the field of agriculture, we'll be able to attract more young people. So the call for us today is for young people and women to form cooperatives so that we can assist them.
How do the cooperatives work? Is it more communal? Are they profit-driven? What is the thinking around them?
When we go commercial, it becomes very difficult for a smallholder farmer to give us the economy of scale, the quality, and if they become cooperatives, they can give us the quantity, we can ensure quality, and we can ensure regularity. We've been working with Walmart, with ShopRite Checkers, and other retail groups to shorten the time from the farmer's gate to the consumer's plate. Now, the middle person or the middleman, that is where the price of food is pushed up.
What's this? Logistics, trucking,
warehousing, even packaging. So just for packaging and putting a beautiful label on it, the consumer is paying. If we want to reduce food prices, we must cut out this entire long value chain, which is just adding prices to food. If we have...
But that value chain creates jobs, doesn't it?
That value chain creates jobs, or if we create jobs at the lower end and at the bottom end, then and at the higher end, then we would not need this very high value chain.
Okay.
Cooperatives would then be able to give us the opportunity to reduce food prices.
So celebrations today for World Food Day, marking World Food Day in Bronxspruit. What's going to be happening? How are you engaging with communities? And is it, often the government celebrations are, we come, we do a little bit, and then we depart. Can it be sustainable?
We have changed from that approach. Bronxspruit has actually become a very good farming area, which is amazing. You would find black women, rural women in particular, bearing the brunt of poverty. We are addressing poverty, unemployment, inequality through agriculture. That area is now an agricultural hub. Premier of the Gauteng area is very concerned about urban poverty and urban food security and high food prices in urban areas. So we're farming in Gauteng. So we already have farming. The sustainability of those projects are already there. We are assisting them to reduce the cost of production. Our country now has
While
to
not
move...
compromising quality.
Exactly. Our country has to move from a net importer of processed goods. So what we want to do now in Gauteng is to process those goods. We are exporting primary goods and importing processed goods. We are food secure as a country, but we don't have household food security.
Okay.
And that has to change.
All right. Tina Joemat-Pettersson is Minister responsible for Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, talking about the agriculture sector, the work that's being done there, but also looking at some of the